Mysteries revealed. Initiation ritual. The sun was rising over Athens as people were waking to a beautiful mid-September day. Greece was enjoying an era of peace and prosperity. Emperor Hadrian ruled the Roman Empire, and the city was benefiting from Hadrian's admiration of Greek arts, culture, and religion. One of the citizens living in the city was Nestor, the son of a Greek philosopher. He had grown up in an environment where seeking knowledge was a constant activity, and ever since hearing about the Eleusinian Mysteries, he had wanted to know its secrets. Over the past 5 days, he had fasted, made sacrifices, and performed purification rituals as was required for participation. And now he was ready for the journey. This is the day he has been waiting for all his life. Gathering everything he needs for the journey, he goes to join the other initiates to begin the transformative trip. Gathering at Athens' Sacred Gate, the procession begins traveling down the sacred way to Eleusis. Along the way, they visit various shrines and temples, stopping to rest in Daphne, the temple precinct of Apollo, Demeter, Persephone, and Athena. Finally, after the long walk from Athens, the procession of initiates arrives at the sanctuary of Eleusis. At the entrance, they are greeted by priests and priestesses. It is a joyous arrival with singing and dancing. After they are done celebrating, the initiates are directed to organize into groups, and one by one the groups are allowed into the main gateway. With eager anticipation, the initiates pass through the towering Greater Propylaea and into the sanctuary. It is a vast, exhilarating sight, with many buildings and structures. But there is nobody coming to greet them or telling them what to do. The initiates crowd into the courtyard and stop, scanning the surroundings. After waiting a long time, the initiates are bewildered. Then a priestess appears and shouts,
"Persephone is gone! She is nowhere to be found! We must find her!"
A sense of alarm sweeps through the crowd and the initiates become anxious. In a loud voice, the priestess says to the initiates,
"Go through the lesser Propylaea and into the sacred yard. Look for Persephone and find her."
Hearing this, the initiates begin to move through the second gateway and further into the sanctuary. As soon as they exit the lesser Propylaea, they pass by the Temple of Hades, built to protect the Plutonian cave that Hades uses as a doorway to his realm. The initiates stay far from the cave's entrance, fearing they will not be able to return if they enter. The initiates quickly look for Persephone inside the temple and then continue on to look for her elsewhere. As each initiate passes the Temple of Hades, they do so quickly as they realize the Lord of the Underworld could be very close. Throughout the day, more initiates continue to enter the Greater Propylaea and are directed into the sacred yard. They explore all the spaces they find, but they don't find Persephone. By nightfall, all the initiates that journeyed to Eleusis are inside the sanctuary. Strangely, there are few priests or priestesses inside, and the only thing they will say is to keep looking for Persephone. The initiates also discover the only food available is for sacrificial rituals, although there is water to drink and to bathe in. They had fasted before the journey to Eleusis, so the lack of food does not feel like a hardship. But not being able to obtain food was unexpected, and this is troubling. As the nighttime darkens, the initiates light their torches and continue their search. The only place closed to the initiates is the telesterion, and no one is allowed inside. Eventually, they stop and go back to celebrating their coming initiation. There is much dancing and singing, and special dances are performed by the women. Sacred bread is offered to Demeter, and rituals honoring the gods are performed. As it gets late, tired and unable to find Persephone, the initiates find a place to sleep until morning. The next day, the initiates rest and then continue the search for Persephone. They share with each other what little food they brought, and talk with the people they meet. As evening approaches, priests and priestesses begin to appear in the front entrance of the telesterion. It is a magnificent portico, large enough that it could hold hundreds of initiates. Then the sound of music is heard, and all the initiates gather in front of the telesterion. At the command of the high priest, the priests and priestesses arrange themselves within the portico and the initiation ceremony begins.
Welcome, Mysti, to the sanctuary of Eleusis and to initiation into the greater mysteries. Your preparations have been long, and you have journeyed far to be here. Now you will receive the knowledge you have been seeking, and secrets will be revealed. Come forward to drink the koukion and enter into the telesterion.
With this said, the mystagogues direct each mystes to form multiple lines leading to the portico. The mystagogues have participated in the ceremony many times and are there to help the new initiates. On the portico are many priestesses, and among them is Silene, the daughter of a high priestess of Eleusis. The priestesses greet each mystes and pour them a measure of koukion to drink. Once they have drank the koukion, they are sent through a doorway into the telesterion. In the line of mysti slowly advancing across the portico is Nestor, waiting to receive his measure of koukion. The recent events have not been what he expected, but nevertheless he remains intensely aware of everything happening. He has been in a constant state of wonder since arriving, and contemplating his experiences has produced many revelations. When he reaches the priestess to receive his koukion, it is Silene that pours it for him. He is suddenly transfixed by her presence, as if there is an aura around her. As they look into each other's eyes, they are both electrified at what they sense, a flash of recognition of something profoundly familiar. Silene gracefully pours Nestor his measure and he gratefully drinks it. He smiles and says,
I sense there is a beautiful mystery within.
Silene looks intently at Nestor as her eyes widen and she smiles. He then continues on through the doorway and into the telesterion. The inside of the telesterion is very dark, and it's hard to see anything. There are a few areas lit with torches and the mysti instinctively go there. The priests holding the torches tell the mysti that they are free to explore but should look for a place to sit in the seating along the perimeter walls. The interior is huge and sparse, with 42 evenly spaced columns, and the only prominent feature is a building called the Anacteron in the center of the hall. As the mysti fill the telesterion, it becomes crowded and uncomfortable. In the near-total darkness, everyone becomes confused and uncertain. The few areas lit with torchlight are overcrowded torrents of shadow. After a while, they notice some shadowy figures moving amongst them that have the appearance of corpses. The mysti begin to hear moans and pleas that seem to come out of nowhere. After hours go by, a feeling of panic begins to grow. Then a procession of priestesses enters the hall bearing torches and the darkness is driven back. Nestor notices that Silene is one of the torchbearers. They stop in front of the Anacteron and form a circle. The high priest emerges from the doorway and says in a loud voice,
Mysti, seat yourselves and watch as the mysteries are revealed to you.
At this, all the mysti go to a seat along the walls. A stunningly beautiful young woman enters the hall and stops within the circle of torchbearers. It is Persephone. The mysti shout with joy at seeing her, and their mood soars. The high priest goes into the Anacteron and returns with the Sista Mystica and stands next to Persephone. The high priestess reaches into the Sista Mystica and takes out a whole pomegranate. Holding it up high, and showing it to all the initiates, she says,
Behold the fruit of fertility and life.
After giving everyone time to contemplate the pomegranate, the priestess opens the rind and begins to peel it. At the same time, Persephone begins to remove all her clothes until she is completely naked. The mysti are mesmerized by Persephone's provocative sensuality, and her irresistible allure. The high priestess then takes a seed from the pomegranate and holds it high in the air for all to see. She then gives it to Persephone, who is left standing in the center of the circle of torchbearers holding the seed, as the high priestess returns the pomegranate to the basket. Then the high priestess walks across the hall to a large pot that has white daffodils growing in rich soil. The priestess reaches into the Cista Mystica and takes out a white daffodil and shows it to everyone. She then walks back to the Anacteron to join the high priest. Persephone is now aware of the white daffodils and walks over to look at them. She is captivated by their beauty and purity, and instantly becomes enamored. She picks one and walks back to the circle of torchbearers. A murmur runs through the crowd. Behind the pot, a shadowy figure is barely visible in the darkness. Persephone, looking at her daffodil, decides she wants one more. She walks back to the pot of flowers and picks another. When she returns to the circle of torchbearers, the shadowy figure moves close to the pot. A gasp is heard from the crowd. It is Hades wearing his cap of invisibility. Persephone is unaware that Hades has been secretly watching her. Hades has developed an intense interest in Persephone and knows everything about her that can be observed. He has decided that Persephone should be his wife, and queen of the underworld. So, Hades went to Zeus, his brother and father of Persephone, asking permission to marry her. But Zeus, ruler of the gods, refused to be involved or give an answer, saying Hades as a god must decide his own actions. Now, with Persephone so close by, Hades sees an opportunity to take her to the underworld. While she is busy admiring her daffodils, Hades quickly creates a deep hole in the soil within the pot. Persephone returns to the pot to pick more daffodils. Her hands are full, so she places the pomegranate seed into the hole Hades created. Invisible to Persephone, Hades quickly fills in the hole to bury the seed, then grabs Persephone and carries her away into the shadows. As Persephone and Hades vanish from sight, the Mysti begin wailing and crying. Fear overtakes them and they sink into their seats. The torchbearers turn and leave the hall, and it becomes totally dark. In the pitch blackness the loud voice of the high priest is heard.
Mysti, hear me, and do not be afraid. Listen now and learn the secrets you wish to know.
In front of the Anacteron, a fire ignites in a large bowl and illuminates the hall. On either side, facing each other, are Hades and Persephone, wearing royal robes. Persephone says to Hades,
"Why have you brought me to the underworld? My place is in the world of the living. What justification do you have for abducting me and holding me here?"
Persephone, I am Hades, lord of the dead, immortal god and son of Kronos. Within my realm, I am the supreme ruler with enormous power. My will is unbreakable, and my decisions are final. Gods and men call me the wise and the just. I am caretaker of the dead, and my realm is where all things come to rest. I am the wealthiest of all gods and men. My greatest power is to possess whatever comes to my realm. But the souls held here are treated fairly in accordance with their actions in the world of the living. Love and kindness is given to the good, and punishment and retribution is given to the evil. I have the power to bring you to the underworld and hold you here. Because you are immortal and live in the world of the living, and because many things keep you there, you will never come to my realm unless I bring you here. I have been told by the highest authority that the decision to bring you here is mine, and mine alone, to make. As god and goddess, if it is allowed by divine law, we can do anything we wish to do. So, just as you chose to possess the flowers you adore, I chose to possess the maiden I adore. I am as justified as you are in taking what we desire.
Why do you desire me, and why do you want me to be with you?
You, Persephone, are the embodiment of fertility, creativity, regeneration, growth, purity, and innocent beauty. The life force within you is vibrant and strong. In the world of the living, you are the radiant light of emerging new life. Nowhere in the limitless underworld is there anyone like you. There are many here with me in my realm that I love and value as companions. But only you can give me what I lack, and my desire is for you to be my companion and rule the underworld together.
I am not a possession, and I will do only that which I wish to do. If I am to be your companion, it must be a mutual decision, and is a relationship I agree to have. To rule as queen of the underworld has never been my desire. I know of no reason why I should accept this role.
Until now, you have never experienced the world of the dead, and you have no understanding of the underworld. And there is much you do not know about me. I am known as the Unseen One, and I hide the underworld from the living. Now know this, everything that is mortal comes to my realm regardless of how much time passes. The living come to me, the host, to be given their place in eternity. Everything you have loved in life, when it dies, you will find here in my realm.
Out of the darkness of the Telesterion a ghostly crowd steps into the firelight. Persephone recognizes some of them as people that she loved and admired, but had died.
Persephone, hail and welcome to our home. Your presence here gives us great joy and happiness. The light you bring with you revives our memories of the living world. Hades has been a good host, and those memories we cherish most are still with us. We have been judged and been given our rightful place among the dead that dwell here, and reside with the souls we are in harmony with. Now that you are here, our spirit is once again hopeful and uplifted.
Persephone, I am kind and loving towards every soul that is good and acts honorably. Only those souls that are evil and act sinfully have reason to fear me, for they deserve punishment. I am fair, faithful, honest, and reliable. Persephone, I have great gifts that I can give you. Already, the underworld has been providing a foundation for life, and I have acted in consort with the Olympians to support the living. As queen of the dead, you can use your powers to reconnect the dead with the living. For within you is the very essence of life itself. Sharing that energy gives me strength and eases the burden of eternally ruling the underworld.
Persephone is pensive, but eventually speaks.
Life and death are connected by divine law, although I am immortal and will not die. But Hades' power to hold me in the underworld is greater than mine, and I am unable to leave. By becoming the queen of the underworld, I see that I can do much good and can benefit all that are here within the underworld. And I see that Hades could be a good companion. But since I lack any experience as a companion, and with much still unknown about Hades, I cannot commit to this role and relationship. But I am willing to be open and see if this is my destiny.
I will be a good companion, and you will have my love and respect.
Hades gives Persephone a pomegranate seed and says,
Eat this as a gift from me, and know that all I possess is available to you so that the life force within you can grow strong.
Taking the seed, Persephone eats it and feels the powers that exist in the underworld flowing through her. Everyone now turns and walks into the darkness. From the side of the Telesterion, Demeter appears with torchbearers on either side of her. They walk towards the pot and stop. The daffodils are wilted and dead. Demeter sits on a bench nearby and stares mournfully at the pot. Then from the Anacteron, the high priest emerges with the Cista Mystica. He reaches inside and brings out a snake, which he shows to all the Mysti. Putting the snake back into the Cista Mystica, he goes back into the Anacteron. Demeter stands up, and together with the torchbearers walks to the far side of the Telesterion. From the other side of the Telesterion, Hades and Persephone appear with torchbearers by their sides. They walk to the Anacteron and stop next to it. Far in the darkness a luminous portal slowly materializes, and an otherworldly figure appears. Stepping out, Hermes walks to the fire in front of the Anacteron and announces himself.
I, Hermes, who crosses between worlds, brings to Hades this message from Zeus, your brother and king of the gods. The gods have learned that Persephone has been brought to your realm and is held in the underworld, unable to leave. Because of this, there is no new life emerging in the living world. Demeter, in her grief at the absence of her daughter, and having no new life to care for, has stopped supporting all life. The living world is becoming stagnant and sterile, and both mankind and gods are suffering. The natural order has been disrupted. The gods of Olympus ask of you for the release of Persephone so that she may return to the living world and be reunited with her mother.
After much thought and consideration, Hades reaches a conclusion and announces his decision.
Of all that I possess in the underworld, most valuable and cherished is the companionship of Persephone. She brings me more joy than all the riches within the earth, and she has more vitality than the souls that are here forever in my realm. Therefore, to lose my companion would be my greatest loss, and by my power, no soul may leave the underworld without my consent. Also, it is true that Persephone finds joy and vitality in the world of the living, and the life force within all living things is strengthened by her presence. New life emerges when she is in the living world, and it grows and flourishes, as does she. Therefore, Persephone should be free to live in the living world so that both mortals and immortals can benefit. The seed of life now binds the immortal Persephone to the underground realm of the dead. Even so, I give to her the freedom to return to the world of the living. And with this freedom, I offer to Persephone the vast riches and resources that are within my realm. She has the right to use what is in the earth as she wishes. The Earth Mother Demeter, caretaker of life, is my sister. My wish is to be in harmony with her so that all life benefits, and the immortals benefit as well.
Hearing this, Persephone's understanding of Hades deepens, and she responds,
I now know my true place within the pantheon of the immortal deities. I have gained profound knowledge and understanding, which I would not have if Hades had not brought me to the underworld. And I have been given valuable gifts and new powers. My powers are much greater now, and I have capabilities that exceed those that I had before. I inherited from my ancestors the power to produce new life and fill it with vitalizing energy. This has been my defining power, and now this power is much stronger. With the gifts the underworld has given me, I am better able to enrich the living world and cause new things to emerge. And as the living world thrives and flourishes by my efforts, I feel deep happiness and satisfaction. Truly, I recognize that Hades is far-sighted and wise, and his generosity has had the benefits he wished for.
Then the dead raised their voices.
Persephone, beloved queen who has brought us joy and inspiration, if you are to leave us, we offer to you all that we found valuable within our eternal home. We hope that what we offer will help you in the living world. Please remember us, the dead who dwell forever in the underworld, and know that our memory of you will be our most precious possession.
Persephone is overwhelmed with emotion, feelings of gratitude, pity, amazement, compassion, confusion, sadness, wonder, joy, disbelief, unhappiness, and more. Then a concept forms and her mind is peaceful again.
I will remember the dead, who hold me as their queen, when I return to the world of the living. And know this, I will return to be with you again, and to be with Hades who has treated me fairly with care and respect. And I will bring gifts with me to share that will allow you to feel connected to the living world.
Turning to Hades she says,
I commit to being your companion, and I will be queen of the underworld. I go now to be with my mother, and be free again to generate new life. Though you are hidden and unseen, I know that you can see me. While I'm not here with you in the underworld, know that the light you see within me shines to give you company. I am grateful for the gifts you have given me, and I will use them so that new life flourishes in the living world. And as the light begins to fade in your realm, I will return to be with you and the dead that you care for.
From the side of the Telesterion, Demeter reappears with her torchbearers and they walk to the pot. A tree has appeared in the pot, and there is a pomegranate growing on a branch. Hermes takes Persephone's hand and guides her to the pot where Demeter is standing. Mother and daughter run to each other and embrace with an outpouring of love, crying tears of joy. Demeter exclaims,
My daughter, the goddess of spring, has returned. Let the world burst forth with life, and once again grow and prosper. I rejoice in nurturing life once again, and in helping life reach its full potential.
At that, Hermes bids them farewell, then walks back to the portal and disappears. Hades has already disappeared into the darkness during the reunion of Persephone and Demeter. The high priestess appears and walks to the pot with the tree growing in it. Demeter removes the pomegranate and gives it to the high priestess. The high priestess holds it high in the air, showing it to everyone as she walks back to the Anacteron. She puts the pomegranate into the Cista Mystica. The high priest picks up the Cista Mystica and disappears into the Anacteron. Priests come forward holding torches, and with them are priestesses holding sheaves of barley. They converge in front of the Anacteron. Music fills the air, and the voices of Persephone and Demeter are heard as they begin singing. The entire hall is now brightly lit and there is singing and dancing as the ritual nears its end. From all parts of the telesterion, the apoptai being initiated go to the priestesses and receive a sheaf of barley. Waving the sheaves in the air, they walk to the center of the hall and place them in a large basket. Once all the sheaves are in the basket, the apoptai assemble in front of the high priest. Persephone and Demeter are on either side of the fire pit. One of the apoptai steps forward and addresses Persephone.
Beloved Persephone, we are mortals, doomed to die. But we will gladly go to the underworld knowing we can be with you there. Hades is the most just and fair of all the gods. We have lived our lives according to principles and ideals that would please both mortals and gods. Hades will give us a proper home in the underworld. During our lives, we've created many things that are new and never existed before. We bring them as gifts to share with the dead in the underworld when it is our time to be taken under the earth. We bring gifts to Hades that will enrich his realm and increase his wealth, things that he can use to benefit his companion Persephone. And to you Persephone, we give the love in our hearts and minds, which is the most valuable thing we possess.
Persephone's spirit lifts and says to the mortals,
It would please me for such kind and loving souls to be with me when I return to the world of the dead. You bring much happiness and cheer with you, and it is welcome. When I return to the underworld, I will make certain that Hades has a place for you where you will find peace and happiness. We will be together, and be a light in the darkness. Live a good life, be happy, and do what you can to help others. For me, the year is now divided in 3 parts and I belong to an eternal cycle. I go now to use my powers as the goddess of spring, and enjoy my freedom. Next, I will be with Demeter while her powers are the strongest. Then I will return to be with Hades, and assume my role as queen of the underworld.
The initiation concludes with the priests and priestesses forming processions to escort Persephone out of one side of the telesterion, and Demeter out the other side. They disappear out the doors and the high priest is left standing in front of the Anacteron. He addresses the Mysti and Epoptai, saying,
Mysti and Epoptai, you are now fully initiated into the mysteries. Take comfort in the knowledge you have been given, and keep your oath to never reveal these secrets to the uninitiated. Now come and receive your ribbons and laurels as badges of your new status.
Music fills the air and the priests and priestesses return with ribbons and laurels to give to the Mysti and Epoptai. As they get their badges, they spontaneously begin singing and dancing. A great celebration is now happening. Nestor has remained seated, his mind still overwhelmed by the night's events and thoughts he's been having. The Kukion has had a strong effect on his perception of the world, enhancing and distorting his senses, and causing ideas and visions to come into his mind. He's happy because of the profound revelations and insights he's had, but is still struggling to comprehend it all. Having been immersed in philosophical thought all his life has given him a much deeper understanding of what he's just experienced. But that has also made the experience more challenging, and now he has many new questions to be answered. Nestor sees Silene giving the Mysti their badges, and remembers watching her during the night's activities. Everyone's attention was on Persephone, but Nestor found himself fixated on Silene and the light coming from her. He saw the same aura on the portico, so he decided it was more than an effect of the Kukion. Standing up, he goes to Silene to receive his badges. She recognizes him and greets him warmly.
Hail Mistress, I am here to give you tokens that show you are initiated into the mysteries of Eleusis.
She then places a laurel wreath on his head and ties a ribbon on his arm. Nestor feels the same sense of connection he felt before, and says,
I have wished for this moment and now it has come. The mysteries have been revealed to me. But one mystery remains. It's the light that I see radiating from you. I saw it on the portico, and I see it now. How can this be? Are you divine?
Silene did not expect this response. Looking intently at Nestor, she says,
I am Silene, a priestess of this sanctuary and devotee of Hecate. I am not divine, although I was born on the full moon of the winter solstice, and my mother is a high priestess born from a family of priestesses. How is it that you can see the secret light within me that no other can see?
Sometimes I see things with my mind more clearly than with my eyes. When you poured kukion for me on the portico, I perceived a luminosity and something familiar in you. Now that you have told me your name and revealed your heritage, I know my perceptions are real, and that you have a deep understanding of things I wish to understand. My intuition is that we share the same passion for knowledge.
I also sensed something familiar when we met, and saw deep wisdom in your eyes, even though you are young. Who are you, and where is your home?
I am Nestor of Athens, and my father is a philosopher in the school founded by Plutarch. I have no chosen path at the present, and am seeking to discover my fate. I've studied all the great philosophers and made pilgrimages to many temples and shrines in search of knowledge. If you're willing to share your knowledge, there are many things I would like to learn from you.
Your story interests me, and it confirms my intuition. It is true that I am also seeking knowledge. Plutarch is highly revered here, and I believe that you yourself may have gained valuable knowledge. It seems this has been a most fortuitous meeting.
I agree. This could be the beginning of a beneficial collaboration. Would it be possible to meet, talk, and explore ideas? I'll travel to the sanctuary of Asclepios when I leave Eleusis to visit the incubation temple. But I have no need to go there immediately.
I'm also going to the sanctuary of Asclepios. Now that the initiation ritual is complete, the sacred snake of Asclepios is being returned. This is one of my duties. Afterwards, I will be staying there to continue my education in the preparation and uses of medicinal plants. Nestor, I am sorry, at this moment I must return to giving badges to Mistai. Then I have many other remaining obligations. Perhaps we can meet at the sanctuary of Asclepios 1 week after today.
I would be very happy to meet you there, and I will be there when you arrive. Until then, may the gods and goddesses bless you and protect you.
I will watch for you. I will be at the house of Hecate, look for me there.
Nestor joins the other Mistai and begins dancing and singing. There will be time to contemplate everything he's experienced. But now is the time to celebrate. It's been a peak experience for him, and his mood is pure joy. He has had the enlightenment he'd hoped for, and also has a promising future ahead. Nestor fully surrenders and simply enjoys the thoughts and feelings created by the revelry and kukion. After a while, he notices light is coming into the telesterion. Morning has come, and the Mistai pour out of the doorways to watch the sunrise. It's a dramatic sight after being confined to darkness most of the night. Once the sun is bright in the sky, Nestor realizes he's exhausted, and finds a place to sleep.